So 3 weeks ago, I completed a 7-day water fast, and it's easily one of the craziest things I've ever done. However, it seemed to leave you guys with a lot of unanswered questions. So I thought it was only fair that I did a follow-up video showing my transformation after the fast, as well as answering all those unanswered questions. So here we go, the 7-day water fast 3 week later update. Disclaimer. Before we start, I do not recommend you try a medically unsupervised fast. The following video does not constitute medical advice. I am not a doctor. So I'm going to start the video by answering all the questions I got on Instagram. If you don't follow me on Instagram, go and drop me a follow. It's probably the easiest way to stay in touch with me, and you can always just drop into my DMs. Okay, question number 1 is from the Breath God. Purpose of the water fast. So there's several reasons why I wanted to do the fast that I explained in the video, for the autophagy, the cell repair, the detoxification, to see what it's like to be in ketosis, but the main reason was to really just push myself to do something I knew was going to be very difficult and to see if I could do it. Pushing yourself to do things that you think are difficult or even possible is such a good way to grow and get stronger and adapt, and doing the water fast is one of the best things I've ever done, because I honestly feel like I can do so many things now, and you're going to see it on this channel. So next question is Tom Lazaruk. He's actually a fellow YouTuber and friend of mine. He makes amazing fitness videos, so if you haven't checked him out, I highly suggest checking him out. They look like BBC documentaries. They're super fun and educational at the same time. Tom asks, any issues with libido? Classic Tom. Guess what he's referring to is when you're in a deep calorie deficit, you can become impotent, or you can have problems with erectile dysfunction. However, during the fast, I didn't notice anything like this. Loretta was away, so I spent most of the time on my own anyway. And most of my free time I spent watching food videos, so no different to usual. But yeah, no problems in that area whatsoever. Next question is from Kale Von Celery. Solid name. Did you have a lot of cravings while you were fasting? And I think this is one of the most interesting things about fasting, is you actually realize that you're not hungry and that you do have cravings. But for the first couple of days, I definitely did crave like some junk food and donuts and stuff like that. However, once I entered ketosis and got deeper into the fast, I really didn't crave any food whatsoever. It's a real surreal feeling when you meet up with people and you tell them I haven't eaten for 5 days, and they're like, you must be starving. You're the complete opposite. You've never been less hungry in your life. But by the end of the fast, I was just dying for a drink that wasn't salty water, which is why I broke the fast with a smoothie, and it was so good. But yeah, the cravings actually dissipate the longer you fast for, and I think that's one of the most beneficial things about fasting, is realizing that most of the time you are just craving something and you're not actually hungry. Next up, I am Andre Crocky. Is the video coming out? Yes. Next we have Awkward-esque. Hey, wanted to know which app you use to track your fast. Great work, by the way. Love your content. Thank you. The app I use is called Life. It's in the App Store for free, so you can just download it and then you can set your time for however long you want your fast to be. And it also gives you like useful little tips and information, like when you're entering ketosis and autophagy and stuff like that, which is really beneficial and motivating during your fast as well. Next we have W.S. Hallam. How did you feel after your first meal, and would you recommend a 7-day fast over a 3-day fast? First meal was absolutely life-changing. It's incredible, as you probably saw in the video. Your senses are so heightened and everything tastes amazing. It's like you've reset your taste buds and you're eating for the first time. Unfortunately, that doesn't last for that long, but the first meal was incredible. Would I recommend a 3-day fast over a 7-day fast? In my opinion, I'd say it's better to do a 7-day fast. The hardest part of the fast is probably the first 3 days, so once you get into like day 4 and 5, it's actually a lot easier. Ketosis and autophagy starts happening, you don't feel hunger, you kind of get that euphoric feeling. So if you stop on day 3, you're kind of stopping when you've done all the hard work. But that being said, it is very taxing on the body, and if you've got a busy work and family life schedule, it can be difficult, because I did have to take quite a lot of rest during the end of the fast. As I said in my video, there are no rules with fasting. You can just aim to fast for however long you like, and then if you feel tired or you've had enough, just stop the fast. It doesn't matter, and like most things in life, the more you do it, the better and easier it gets. Okay, next we have the vegan gym rat. What was the hardest part? What was the easiest, and would I do it again? Hardest part of the fast is definitely the start, and I think this is what intimidates people and puts people off fasting. Is the first day is probably the most difficult. It's such a big change not eating food. You're very aware you're not eating, and also the sleepless nights for the first couple of nights, because you've got all this increased growth hormone and adrenaline running through your body. It's so difficult to sleep, and I think I was getting like 4, maybe 5 hours of broken sleep for the first few nights. That's definitely the toughest. Easiest part of the fast has to be once you enter ketosis around day 4, you no longer feel hungry, which is kind of such a bizarre feeling, and your sleep starts going back to normal. So once you hit day 3 or 4, then it's just a game of making sure you monitor your energy so you're not overexerting yourself and tiring yourself out. But apart from that, yeah, the second part of the fast is so much easier. Will I be doing it again? 100%. I plan on doing an extended fast, like a 7-day water fast once a year. I'll probably just do it in January every year as a nice like reset to the beginning of the year. I think it worked out pretty well in that respect. And for shorter fasts, I'm gonna aim to do at least one 48 to 72 hour fast a month. And sporadically I throw in 24-hour fasts just when I feel like it. Sometimes not that hungry, I'll do a 24-hour fast anyway. So yeah, I'm definitely trying to practice fasting as much as possible. The final Instagram question is from Clin Blonde. With women and our hormones, is fasting for long periods of time even a good idea? So from all the research I did before I started my 7-day water fast, I never saw anything suggesting that women should do anything differently or that they would be affected. So I have no reason to believe that it would be affected that way. I'd highly suggest checking out Laura Try's YouTube channel. She has a 7-day water fast video on, and that was actually the inspiration for me to do my water fast, was from seeing hers. So I'll link her in the description below. Check her out. She has lots of informative videos and she goes very scientifically based, so I think you'll find her video very useful. So that's all my Instagram questions done. I'm now going to answer a few other questions that got asked in person or I've seen online that I think would be beneficial to answer, as well as give my well-anticipated transformation. One of the main ones that kept popping up was that fasting is dangerous. I do not think fasting is dangerous whatsoever. However, if you do have underlying health conditions, specifically diabetes, it is definitely wise to go and seek professional advice. However, if you practice fasting sensibly, there is no reason for it to be dangerous. How to practice safely. Start slowly. If you've never fasted before, probably don't attempt a 7-day water fast. Maybe just attempt pushing your breakfast a little bit later on into the day. I also know what I'm about to say is pretty controversial, but you're gonna have to use your common sense. If during the fast you're not feeling very well, you're feeling dizzy, or you like pass out, or any of these kind of signals from your body that you are not in a good state, then you need to stop the fast. A fast is supposed to be difficult, as in tough mentally, but if you start to feel physical symptoms that you are not well, then you need to stop the fast. However, this is just my experience from my little experience of fasting. Once again, I am not a professional and this is just my opinion on the matter. Next, we have probably the most anticipated question of the video, and that is, you'll just put the weight back on as soon as you start eating and drinking again. Now, may I just reiterate that my fast was not intentionally for weight loss, it was more for cell repair, autophagy, and building a stronger mindset. If you follow my channel, you'll know that I'm actually on a year-long bulk, about 8 months into it, so losing a dramatic amount of weight and keeping it off was not my primary goal. However, I am very well aware that you can only gain about 2 pounds a month of muscle, so I didn't want to put all the weight back on straight away either. Anyway, enough teasing, let's get to the results. So at the start of the fast, I weighed 181 pounds, and at the very end of the fast, I weighed in at 165 pounds. So the total weight loss of 16 pounds. I broke my fast with a smoothie, tofu soup, and also a bowl of oatmeal, which roughly was around 1,000 to 1,200 calories, so not a lot of food, but I felt so full and stuffed after that meal. I woke up the next day 169 pounds, so I gained 4 pounds overnight, and then over the next couple of days I gained a few more pounds, and by the end of the first week I weighed about 172 pounds, so I was up 7 pounds, and I think a lot of that was just replenishing my muscles with water and glycogen. So today, 3 weeks after the fast, I weigh in at 174 pounds, that is 9 pounds up from the initial weight loss of the fast, which I'm pretty happy with, to be honest. I think the most important thing to note is I don't feel like I've lost any muscle. My training at the gym has been great the past few weeks. My strength has gone up, even though I'm now 67 pounds lighter than when I started the fast. Final question I'm gonna answer is some comments I've seen on my TikTok saying that it was very dangerous for me to be promoting fasting as a fat loss or a weight loss tool, and that people just need to follow a healthy diet and exercise regime. I completely understand with people's concern about this, and if people have eating disorders, then fasting is definitely dangerous territory. However, what I've learned from my experience is that fasting is definitely a great tool to understand the difference between craving and hunger. And in that sense, I do believe that actually fasting can be great as a weight loss tool, but not actually as in you lose the weight during the fast, but enabling you to reset your brain's chemistry, that you no longer crave processed rubbish food, and you can also understand the difference between craving a food to actually feeling hunger, which will obviously set you up in the future to actually adhere to a diet. For example, my diet since finishing the fast has been so good, and I'm actually on a lean bulk right now, so I have no need to even eat so clean, but I just don't fancy or are tempted by any unhealthy foods anymore, and I think that's completely down to the fast. Once again, I just want to share that I am not an expert on this subject. I'm just sharing my opinions from my 7-day water fast experience. If you're interested in learning more about fasting, I highly suggest checking out the podcast by Huberman Lab. I also recommend Dave Goggins' book for inspiration and motivation throughout the fast, and I'll link both of those in the details below. So that's it for the video. If you have any more questions, drop in the comments below and I'll make sure to get back to you fast.